Welcome to this week's Quick Charge. Solomon said in Proverbs 12:28, "In the path of righteousness is life, and in its pathway there is no death." Yes, there is a right path for us. There's a righteous path for us, and God gives us some great assurances about this path. We've already learned that it is a path that is fashioned just for me, and it's also favored in every way. But today I want you to consider this. God's path for me is also fixed. Yeah, that's right. It's totally rigged. It's prearranged, preset, predetermined for a right result. Let me assure you that this race, this contest that we're in, God's unique way for us is rigged, and it's all in our favor. Jacob sowed trickery and deception among his family members. He also reaped the same from his own family. And though he had reaped what he had sown, God fixed it. Not just for good, but for better. It was rigged. The great woman had a path that led through a 7-year famine, and she lost her property and her inheritance. But she returned to reclaim it, and the king said to her, "Restore it, everything. Return it to her and restore all that she would have had." So she was actually better off afterwards. It was rigged. I am now, and I always will be better off having walked the path and the way that God has ordained for me, that I had chosen my own way. I'm better off because his path is not my path, and I'm better off for it and not in spite of it. I'm better off because his path is fixed. Now, this is not an excuse for or advocating poor choices or blatant disobedience, but in God's path, I'm not just unharmed, I'm actually better off. Why? Because God's promise of double. In Exodus 22:7, the Bible says if a man gives his neighbor money or articles for safekeeping and it is stolen from the man's house, if the thief is caught, he must repay double. What God has given to me that is stolen from me is to be returned to me double. Now that makes me better off. Zechariah the prophet said, "Return to the stronghold, you prisoners, with hope. Today I declare I will return double what was taken from you." God says, get back on the path, regroup with your hope, you're going to get double. So I'm better off for having gone through it and having walked through it than not. Double means better in quality. It means greater in God's order. God doubled Job. He was better off after he walked the path that had been initiated by God from the beginning. Because remember, it was God who said to the adversary, "Have you considered my servant Job?" Rigged God's path so that I will finish better off no matter what has happened or what is happening now. Paul said, that's why we can be so sure that every detail in our lives of love for God is worked into something good. God knew what he was doing from the beginning. So, what do you think? With God on our side like this, how can we lose? If we stay with his path, the right path, we will end up with double. What a promise. And it's all ours. God bless you.